Baseball, America's pastime, just a game or science? We're going to show you what it takes to be the next Babe Ruth. We're not going to the weight room, we don't need a coach, all you need is knowledge of the physical world.
There are many properties, laws, and concepts in physics, but Newton's third law is one of the easiest to understand. For every reaction, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For example, if you throw a rubber ball at a wall, the wall sends it back in the opposite direction.
Now remember, physics isn't as straightforward as we will put it in this video, as there are many twists, variations, and exceptions that people go to college for many, many years.
Batting takes advantage of a concept called momentum. The momentum of an object equals the mass of an object times the velocity at which it travels. Velocity is similar to speed, except it has a direction. If I'm moving forward, I have a positive velocity, and if I move away from it, I have a negative velocity. Mass is essentially the same as weight, except it does not take into account the force of gravity.
If I'm not moving, do I have momentum?
No, you do not. Since you're not moving, you have zero velocity and therefore no momentum. A good way to remember momentum is mv equals p. We're playing sports, so we must be MVPs, so mv equals p, where m equals mass and v equals velocity, and p is momentum.
So let's recap and put some of this together. If Newton's third law says there is an equal and opposite reaction for every action, that means the momentum of the bat and the ball before the collision must equal the momentum of the bat and the ball after the collision.
There are different types of collisions, elastic and inelastic. Inelastic results in the objects to stick together. Elastic results in the objects apart. Although batting is not only elastic, we are going to consider it as elastic for simplicity.
Elasticity takes advantage of kinetic energy, which is moving energy. Potential energy is stored energy. If an object is resting at the top of a cliff, it has maximum potential energy and no kinetic energy. After the object falls, the energy moves from more potential energy to more kinetic energy. So there is maximum kinetic energy before the object hits the ground, and little to none potential energy before it has hit the bottom.
This being said, the kinetic energy before must equal the kinetic energy after. Kinetic energy is 1/2 times the mass times the velocity squared.
So, back to Newton's third law. Do you remember it?
For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So what's better, to have a bigger, heavier bat or a smaller, lighter bat?
Because the velocity is squared, it affects the reaction much more than the mass, which is not squared. So it would be better to have a bat you can swing faster than a bat that weighs more.
You can see here that the batter has a full swing and the pitch is coming in fast, so this should increase deflection of the ball, often resulting in a home run.
What about the pitch? What's better, a fastball or a slow pitch?
If you answered fast, you're correct. To find the final velocity, you have to add the kinetic energy before and set it equal to the kinetic energy after and solve for the velocity. Because the mass has not changed, the velocity should increase because of the added velocities and because of factors such as ball angle, spin, and the placement of the ball on the bat.
So it should be obvious why a bunt doesn't go very far. Because the bat is basically not moving. The ball will only be affected by the mass of the bat.
As you can see here, the ball is coming with the normal speed. But since the bat isn't moving, the bat is going to absorb the velocity of the ball, and the ball is going to be significantly affected, slowing the ball down.
What makes the home run so difficult is the fact that the batter has less than half a second to decide whether to swing, and if they do swing, they have to hit the sweet spot on the bat, which is the point where the bat brings its most power.
Now get outside and go try it yourself.